What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the G-Red Show. I'm G-Red. Barcelona continue their La Liga dominance. It looks like they're about to close out this match. It's in the 80th minute. 6 wins in 6 matches in La Liga, 4 points up on top from Real Madrid. This is great news for Barcelona, and honestly, Rafinha just scored his second goal with an unbelievable cross, outside of the foot, like 30, 40 yards Lamine Yamal just had, right on a dime to Rafinha. Absolutely world class. But there are definitely some concerns and a lot of criticism I do have for Barcelona in this match that we're going to break down, because if they don't address these issues when they play these better teams like Dortmund in the Champions League, then especially Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, I think Barcelona could actually get exposed, and this could be something that they really have to focus on, because if they don't address this, I can foresee them, I'm not going to say getting embarrassed from these two teams, but they can definitely get scored on, and they could lose if this happens. So we're going to touch on that. We'll touch on this match, what just happened with Ter Stegen. There's some huge news there. If you guys haven't already, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Now let's jump in and discuss everything going on with Barcelona. So the match is about over. It's, it's like the 80-something minute. Barcelona just scored their 5th goal. If you look at it from the outside in, right, it's complete domination from a score standpoint, 5-1. But Villarreal scored 3 more goals that were all taken away because they were offsides. Now, they were all extremely close. To be honest, if there was no such thing as VAR, they all could have been given because they were that close. Barcelona needs to quit it with this high line because they don't have Araujo. Koundé's not the fastest. Inigo Martinez isn't the fastest. They cannot get by playing teams like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, teams with a lot of pace, a lot of quickness across the entire front line. They will get absolutely torched if they play like that. They cannot afford to do that. They don't have Araujo. If you have Araujo, you can get away with it to an extent, but I don't know. I don't like what I see. Their defense needs to get a lot better. They need to mark up better. They need to play more structured. They need to play smarter because they do not mark up the right way. They have a high line and they always get beat. Players run in behind. And at the moment, Barcelona's defense is not fast. Besides Balde, they don't really have many quick players. So that's my biggest concern and takeaway that I have from this match. I mean, again, Lewandowski scored 2 goals. Rafinha scored 2 goals. Lamine Yamal had a great assist. He almost scored with a nice shot. He hit the post. Pablo Torre scored. I don't know if that's going to be given as an own goal, but it's great from an attacking standpoint. They're scoring at ease in every single match. But from a defensive standpoint, they are a liability. And Ter Stegen just picked up an injury. I mean, as soon as he went up for that ball, went down on his back, plus he came off back surgery last season. It's terrible news for him. It looks like he's going to be out for the entire season, 7 to 9 months at least at a minimum. It's so ironic that he has, he plays the bad ball, gets all this criticism for the Monaco match. Obviously, his decision most likely led to the red card, which basically why Barcelona lost. But I do think he was receiving too much hate. I mean, I criticize him for sure, and he does make bad decisions at times, and I think there's a lot of goals that have been scored that he probably could have saved, or at least made it look like he made a better attempt at it. But to be completely honest, he does make some good saves at times. He made a couple good saves against Monaco. He made a nice save or two against Villarreal today. He's going to be out, and the whole season losing him, a lot of people are probably thrilled about it. I'm not going to say I'm thrilled because Iñaki Peña I know he played a lot last year when Ter Stegen was injured, and I'm not going to say he's going to be the reason Barcelona doesn't win, but this is actually a huge loss, because when you look around the world, for example, Real Madrid, and I understand Thibaut Courtois is 1 in a million. He's the best keeper in the world on it right now, and it's not even close. Teams like Real Madrid, their defense is notably better than Barcelona, and you can attribute your keeper to your defense, and Thibaut Courtois makes unbelievable saves and wins Real Madrid matches. He is a reason why Real Madrid win. Ter Stegen is not really a reason, I think, why Barcelona wins. I don't know how much worse this can get from Ter Stegen since he hasn't been in top form so far this season. To be fair, last season either, but Thibaut Courtois single-handedly won Real Madrid the Champions League in 2022. He made some fantastic saves for them the last few matches so far this season. And when you have a great keeper and a great defense and an unbelievable attack with Real Madrid, I know Barcelona looks better right now, but I'm still nervous that when they match up head-to-head, their attack is so fast and could overpower Barcelona's defense and beat their high lines, and Iñaki Peña could struggle. And Real Madrid, their defense is great, and they're fast and strong, and I just think Barcelona, it's going to be a really interesting matchup when they play them. Same thing with Bayern, although I don't think Bayern's defense is really close to being as good as Real Madrid. But if Barcelona is able to figure out their defense, and it's tough because obviously you're still out a lot of players, you're still out Gavi and you're still out Frankie de Jong, and that still helps from a defensive standpoint. But I think from an actual, your back four and your keeper, Barcelona is going to struggle until Araujo comes back. And it's unfortunate because they look so good from an attacking standpoint. And what's crazy is, a couple years ago in La Liga, they barely conceded any goals. And now last year, they conceded a ton of goals. This year, I already foresee when they play these good teams, Inigo Martinez is not going to be able to hold down the fort. Him and Cabarsi, I think, are going to struggle against Mbappe and Vinicius and Bellingham. I think they're going to struggle. And as great as their start to La Liga is, that's the main concern that I have. But besides that, this team is absolutely cooking from an attacking standpoint. I mean, Robert Lewandowski has 6 goals in 6 matches. Did miss his penalty. And again, stuff like that, Real Madrid, they get a ton of penalties. They scored all their penalties this season. I don't agree that a lot of them should have been pens. 2 of them at least shouldn't have been penalties. But they are scoring their penalties, and they don't concede many goals. Barcelona will concede more goals throughout the season. So I think Barcelona has to clean it up from a defensive standpoint and score those opportunities where they have the chances. Score your penalties when you're given those opportunities. Rafinha, it's like against Monaco. We had a couple great opportunities. Those are the little things that Barcelona fails to do that Real Madrid usually can get done, which is why they don't really look like a great team. Honestly, most of the time I watched them this season, there's been spurts where they look incredible. They'll have 5-6 minutes where it's like, wow, Jude Bellingham and his link-up play with Mbappe and Vinicius and these passes that they have together is fantastic. But as a whole, it's not impressive. But it doesn't matter because they will finish their chances. They'll score their penalties. They don't concede a lot of bad goals, and they end up winning. Barcelona, if they can just fix up and clean up those few things, they're right there with Real Madrid. It's hard to say that Barcelona's better than Real Madrid. I say they look better, but when they actually match up, it's going to be interesting. But I do think it's funny that, a 36-year-old Lewandowski with 6 goals, no penalties in La Liga. Rafinha has, 5 or 6 goals in La Liga. Lamine Yamal has 3 goals, 4 goals in La Liga, no penalties. Mbappe, the best in the world, has 4 goals and 3 of them are penalties. It's just kind of funny. It was a great result from Barcelona. What's crazy is I'm still a little disappointed in the performance from a defensive standpoint because Barcelona, I would say they deserve to win. And again, they played with players that really haven't played much. Their starting lineup, not something that they're comfortable playing with, accustomed to. They played a lot of players off the bench this match. So for winning 5-1 that match, I mean, great. The defense looks shaky at times, and they got lucky. They did get lucky, and I'm interested to see what they can do without Ter Stegen, if they're going to go and try and sign a keeper, if they're going to just roll with Iñaki Peña. This is actually a really, really interesting spot that Barcelona's in because they just can't stop getting injured. It's Ter Stegen, Gavi, Frankie, Bernal, everyone is getting injured. It's ridiculous. And, at the end of the day, you got to have squad depth and you got to have your best players healthy. And I hope that Gavi and Frankie can stay healthy for the rest of the season, and hopefully Barcelona can figure out their keeper situation, whether Iñaki Peña has a great season or they sign somebody else. But they're in a weird spot, but it's okay because they are at the top of La Liga. They haven't lost yet, 6 wins in 6 matches. So from that standpoint, it's fantastic, but they just got to clean up a few of these little things, and I think they're right there with Madrid. I think they're right there with Bayern. It's the little things like Arsenal. I was watching Arsenal today against Man City. They were down a man the entire second half. They did end up conceding literally in the last 30 seconds of the match, but that just goes to show Arsenal, playing against arguably the best team in the world with 10 men, was still able to tie the match. Where Barcelona, again, yes, like when they were playing Monaco, it was different. They got the red card in the beginning of the match. Same with PSG, but they were up 2 goals against PSG. A good coach with good tactics can still win the match, and I think, that's something that Barcelona has to keep in mind too, where when they make these mistakes, they still have to find a way to close out these matches. So again, everything looks good in a La Liga standpoint, but they have to continue to improve and get better, finish these chances that they should score, not make stupid mistakes and get red cards, and they have to be better defensively. So let me know what your guys' thoughts and opinions were so far for this match against Villarreal. What are your thoughts moving forward, and do you think Barcelona's defense is going to be a liability when they play some of these better teams like Madrid and Bayern? La Liga, Barcelona, Real Madrid, what have we taken so far from, the first month of the season? What do we expect moving forward? So I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Don't forget forget to like and subscribe if you guys haven't already, and hope to see you guys back here next time on the G Red Show.